Enchanted Caravan. Dorothy Gilman Butters. Copyright C. 1949 and New Edition 2023. Dorothy Gilman Butters, author Jonathan Butters and Christopher Butters, heirs. Disclaimer: this is a work of fiction. Character names and descriptions are the product of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to actual people, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form without permission from the author or publisher, except as permitted by U.S. copyright law. Cover design: Jolene McFadden. Co-contributor: Jonathan Butters. Co-contributor: Christopher Butters. Originally published by Grosset and Dunlap, publisher, New York, 1949. Printed in the United States. Second edition 2023. Published by Southern Dragon Publishing. https://southerndragonpublishing.com. Author's fansite: https://merpolifax.com. Introduction and notes by Dr. Jonathan W. Butters is a clinical psychologist whose practice has consisted of treating adults with mood and personality disorders. He lives in Westchester County, New York. Dorothy Gilman Butters' son. Christopher Butters is a retired court reporter after 30 years in the NYC court system, and a former Union officer. He is also a poet. He is Dorothy Gilman Butters' son. Dear reader, this work of fiction was the very first book ever published by Dorothy Gilman Butters. Originally published in 1949, it can now be considered historical fiction. But there is some debate about that. Yes, the storyline follows a man who collects his daughter from the orphanage to have a summer adventure. It is set after World War II, with then little family traveling through the small towns along Northeast mountain states. As with most of the author's stories, this is about family, friends, and adventures. We hope you will read this and the ones to with an open heart and mind. The story was originally dedicated to J. Bruce and Isa Gilman, the author's parents. Chapter 1. The sun had just risen and was throwing long cool shadows over the road to Gallup Corners. There was not a sign of life to be seen anywhere. The trees on Crescent Mountain stood out clearly in the dawn, like tufts of green wool with pale ravelings of gold along their outer rims. But in the valley from which the road issued, the mist still moved sluggishly among the hollows, like a ghost river that had nowhere to go. In the big house on the hill overlooking Gallup Corners, Jenny Margaret Peel stood before a wide bay window and shivered. The checkerboard linoleum was cold to her bare feet, and there was a draft from the hall that stirred the folds of her nightgown, but it was not from the cold that Jenny...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?